Today we're going to be diving into some control, and we're going to be playing what in my opinion is the best new control card out of the All Will Be One set that just released. And we're talking about this brand new artifact, Mind Splice Apparatus. This is an artifact that puts an oil counter on itself every single turn, and those oil counters can be converted into generic mana for you to spend on your instant and sorcery speed spells. Now, what's interesting about this is it plays extremely well with cards with converted mana cost X. And what I mean by that is you can dump as much mana as you want into these cards that have X converted mana cost, making them much better spells for you to cast. So we run things like Blue and White Sun's Twilight. White Sun's Twilight, if you can dump at least 5 mana into it, is going to sweep the board, create 5 mites for you, and it's also going to gain you the amount of life that you dump into it, which has gotten us out of a lot of really tough situations by gaining us a boatload of life with all the apparatus oil counters we can spend on it. The Blue Sun's Twilight, obviously stealing creatures is great, but if we can dump at least 5 mana into this, we can go ahead and copy that creature as well. Now we've got some really interesting win cons here, starting with Galvanic Iteration to kick things off to copy our spells. And then from Galvanic Iteration, we're going to be copying things like Alchemist Gambit, the Aganjo Uprising, and Explosive Singularity. The Alchemist Gambit, obviously taking extra turns, is really good, and we have all this mana we can dump into it, so it'll be extremely cheap. We've got Aganjo Uprising, where we can create X amount of Samurais to attack in with Menace right away to hopefully close out a game. And then Explosive Singularity can then tap those Samurais after they attack because they have Vigilance for an even further discount, and we can throw a 10 powered Fireball right at their face. Not to mention, if we can copy it with Galvanic Iteration, we can just win the game on the spot for 20 damage. This deck has some really cool, interesting combinations, and I think you guys might enjoy this one. And we built a pretty cool deck around what I think is a very cool control card. So if you guys want a full deck breakdown, though, there will be one at the end of today's video. Stick around for that. In the meantime, in the links below, there's a full deck list. And if you guys enjoy content just like this, we post videos 5 days a week. So be sure to hit the like, subscribe. All that stuff helps out more than you might know, and I would greatly appreciate it. With that being said, enjoy the video, guys. We'll see you back here at the end. Peace out. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to a new video. Today we're playing some Jeskai control, which is a little bit unusual for us here on the channel. We don't play a ton of control. Wish I did play it a little bit more, to be honest, but today we're looking at the Mind Splice, man. This thing is really cool. We learned how to play it a little bit better the other day on stream. Made a few mistakes here and there, but definitely feel like I got a better grasp of how this card should be played. So we should have a lot of fun today. Opening hand is decent enough to keep for sure. And we say go here. We have no plays on turn 2. We are a deck that likes to get started a bit slow, I will say that. So not too surprising for us not to have a play here for the next couple of turns. We may need to go with the third path here to make sure we ensure the land drop. Not to mention some life gain would be pretty helpful here. It looks like they're going to go for some beatdown here with the Orzhov. Okay. The Pilgrim is interesting. Are they trying to run like a Rata Drawback deck? Maybe. But why the Tenacious Underdog if that's the case, right? So, who knows? I did get the Mind Splice Apparatus, though, which is the most clutch top deck we could have asked for there. Going down to 18. Feels bad, man, but we have Apparatus into the Twilight very soon. Hearse is cool. It does exile cards from my graveyard, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. We play the Apparatus, though. Hopefully it's protected long enough to get some value out of it. I am worried about things like Rite of Oblivion, being able to exile any target sort of spell. It's not ideal. We are able to draw 3 with the Scrutiny, and I want to make sure we try to hit a land drop here. So let's do it now before their turn. I would normally pass on their turn and just use it to draw the 3, but because again we need a land drop here, I think it was a fine play, but we missed anyways. Aganjo Uprising probably can go. I feel like everything else in my hand actually plays pretty well against this opponent. Here we got Blue Sun, White Sun. Always want the Explosive Singularity to try to win the game if we can top deck like a Galvanic Iteration. All right. Getting a land here, not bad. I could Twilight for 5, which is honestly good enough, I think. Yeah, it's good enough. Let's Twilight for 5 here. We have the 2 from the Mind Splice apparatus giving us some extra mana, so this for 5 is totally cool. Sweeps the board. I gain a little bit of life. Quite a bit of life, actually. Going to 16. Also threatening to win the game with 2 attacks with all these creatures, which, yeah, I didn't expect them to stick around for too long. Because I could, you know, if I had all 5 of those and they had no answers for those, I could have just taken an extra turn this following turn here and then look to close the game that way. Apparatus already kind of popping off for us. Again, making our sweepers more effective with the White Sun. Okay. I can steal that. Don't love the fact that I can't copy it though because it's legendary. Do we just attack, sweep the board again for maximum value, or yeah, probably. I mean, it looks like they don't have an answer as far as a sweeper goes. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna attack into the opponent here. We're gonna try to give them the 2 poison counters, right? And then we're gonna White Sun for 7. I believe we can do this time. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we can do it for 7. And then they're gonna have to answer 7 mites on this next go around. And if they can't, again, we take the extra turn, beat them down twice, and win the game. All right. So we hit this for 7. Boom, boom. We gain 7 life too, which is really the key here. Mostly is to gain the life. And we're up to 7 mites. So here comes the spot removals. Again, I would imagine the cut downs, the yada yadas. They have the ability to tap the hearse for some value too. I'm guessing that's probably what's holding the priority. Let's not forget I have explosive singularity too. Honestly, if I could just get a bunch of these through, singularity might be able to finish them off. But Path to Peril is an option for the opponent if they have it, but I doubt it just because of the way they played that last turn. Why would they take 2 damage with the Infernal Grasp and then also hit a cut down? You know, 1-for-1 special there. Yeah, this is over. This game is over, ladies and gentlemen. We're at 23 life, by the way, so we eat this damage all day. Not a big deal. Apparatus goes to 4. Now, again, we can win in 2 different ways here. We can either throw a fireball at their face, or we can just poison them. I kind of feel like poisoning them. I guess they die and they get poisoned. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right. Attack again. Poison and death. Look at that. Poison and death. Not to mention explosive singularity, overkill. Yeah, a lot of options there. So very cool, man. Good start to the video here today. Love that. GG. Yeah, kind of crazy. Yesterday when I first recorded this video, I'll kind of explain some of the mistakes I made. Mostly it was the fact that I didn't know Mind Splice had flash. I read that card through the first time around, thought it was really cool. Forgot about his flash ability after I read it the first time around and never used it on the opponent's turn. I always played it on my own turn, which was causing a lot of issues for me. And then we also made some switch ups to the deck here where we added Light Up the Night. I get to go first. This is not a good enough hand to keep, unfortunately. This is also not a good enough hand to keep, but I guess it's better and I don't want to have to mull again, so I guess we go with it and we hope we top deck some lands here. I did to go with the 24 lands though, because I have a lot of draw mechanics in this deck, so I'm hoping that it doesn't bite me in the butt. Typically when I leave the game suggestion at 24, I end up getting mana screwed in some way, shape, or form, so I hope that doesn't happen today. Awesome. We make it out unscathed, thank goodness. All I need is that apparatus mana and we're good, so don't really care what happens after that as far as mana goes. I mean, I'd like to keep drawing mana if I need it, but as long as I get like Silver Scrutiny, we're gonna be fine. Mono black is annoying. Would like to maybe get a Syncopate at some point so I can stop the Invoke Despair when it happens. Shieldred's kind of nasty, but I can steal a Shieldred, which is pretty cool. All right, we drew a lot of lands, which is fantastic. Apparatus ready to go. I definitely didn't expect to hit this many lands. I was really worried that we weren't going to find our third land drop, much less our fifth. All right, it's got to be Shieldred, right? The curve, too perfect. Yeah, there it is. All right, Shieldred's down. We eat 6 damage here, which is a lot. Which is a lot. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Not quite enough for the Twilight to sweep up the board. Let's see, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I have enough to steal Shieldred though, which is great. But I do plan on sweeping the board next turn, so that's kind of like a good thing and a bad thing, right? All right, we take Shieldred. We got a good blocker. We're gaining life on the draw. Maybe sweeping the board isn't necessarily something we have to do now. But they are at 5 mana, so it does appear that they're curving out really nicely. So Invoke Despair, a potential here. But no, they go for the Grasp instead, which is good news for us. Means no Despair's coming down. Which also means the Twilight gets the chance to come down and shine. Would like to draw another Twilight though. We've obviously taken a lot of damage very quickly, so the sooner we can gain that life back, the better. They have something holding priority at instant speed here. What could that possibly be? Huh. Instant speed, 3 mana. It's got to be a kill spell, but why would the kill spell be holding priority at this point? That's a good card, actually. I can get it in and use it right away for the oil counter. Love that. Gets my Twilight even bigger. So Twilight's going to be what? 1, 2, 3 plus another 3, so 6. Beautiful. 6 mana Twilight. We're back to 9. We sweep the board. We get 6 little mites. Unfortunately, they can't block though, which is a bummer because if they want to blitz in their underdogs, they can get those through. Definitely gonna have some spot removal, it looks like, which is good. We like when they invest all their spot removal into our mites because it really is not good value for them to throw away an entire card just to take 1 mite off the field. All right, they're gonna try to get the beat down through before we get the chance to kill them out with the poison, so I respect it. They're down to 14 though. They've been taking an absolute beating off of their own stuff. That's a card, ladies and gentlemen. That is a card. All right, so 5. Let's just do this for 5. I want to make sure I maximize the amount of mana I can use here. So if I do this for 5 and draw another ability to gain life, I'm gonna definitely enjoy that. So let's do this for 5. Okay, I got stuff to protect ourselves, so I guess that's good enough. These can't block, so we send them. All right, so we got some counter spells. We've got some marches. Instant speed stuff is great. Stops Invoke Despair, stops the attacks. I should be able to win this on this turn, I believe. Yep, Invoke Despair. Not happening, my friend. 1 mana, and then what do you got? 2, so let's do 1, 2, 3. No Invoke Despair for you, my friend. And that's game. It's that easy, ladies and gentlemen. It's that easy. GG's. All poisoned up for the win. I love that. Not to mention we can draw like 50 cards now, and we were bound to draw into something that could gain us life too. So that was a bit of a close one at the beginning there, but we recovered nicely. Silver Scrutiny for the win, man. That is a heck of a card in this deck, man. I'm telling you though, Apparatus, man, what a card. Just to be able to give, because it's not just like, gives you 5 mana to use for that turn, right? It gives you potentially 10, 20 mana because you use the 5 mana on the, the Silver Scrutiny, and then you draw on, the card you need, and then you can invest 5 mana into that as well. It's just a constant mana dump. It's really, really nice. I'm pretty scared at this keep just because, again, it's a 2-lander, which I can't seem to get away from, but if we get our 3rd land drop, we can hit a 3rd path, hopefully into that 4th land, so I don't know why the game keeps giving me 2-landers and scaring me like this, but it's been working out okay so far. Farmhand into Wedding Announcement. Okay, so we're looking at just a mono white mid-rangey style deck here. Got to be on the lookout for the Wandering Emperor, I'm sure, at some point. I'm glad we have the Twilight again to sweep the board eventually. They're looking to draw a card instead of creating a token, which is good. Slows the beat down. Oh, it's got green in there. So look at the top 6 cards of your library. Put 2 land cards from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. If you have 2 or fewer lands on the battlefield, the way it's okay. That's interesting. Pretty cool card. Pretty cool card. Blue Sun is a good card, but I need a land. Ugh, didn't get a land. But at least we can try to find it this way. Didn't find it. Unfortunate. Unfortunate, man. Holy. I guess we... Oh, I don't want to drop this. This could end up being really good for us later if they've got like a Titan of Industry or something. Wow, I'm so bummed out right now. This is not what you like to see, man. All right, well. Light up the night, which I can't use from the flashback position, unfortunately. We don't have any planeswalkers, so... It was bound to happen sooner or later with all the 2-lander hands, man. We missed the land drop. Thrun is a 5/5 indestructible trample, can't be countered. Only be a target. Oh, so green spells. That's right. Okay, so it can only be targeted by green spells. That's fine. It has indestructible on their turn, right? As long as it's your turn, it has indestructible. Okay, so I can sweep the board still with my Twilight, which is great. If we can get there. I mean, I did gain a boatload of life, so we should be able to get there, but you never know. You never know. I could cast the Aganjo Uprising just to protect ourselves, which is one way we could go too. So much damage we're eating here. This is kind of like a mono green stompy deck all of a sudden. And then they flip that over, huh? Okay. Down to 13. Man, if we didn't miss a land drop, this would have been the perfect time to sweep the board, huh? Because we're missing by 1, right? Yeah, we are. Missing it by 1. These have trample, though. Wow. Okay. Two, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can, gosh, I can hit this for 4. Steal the Oddity. I guess that's something, right? I mean, slows the bleeding down somewhat, but then that's 10, 11, 12 damage on board. So only 1 more damage and they got us. What's the odds of them playing something with haste again, though? Pretty slim, right? You would imagine. Or do I go with the route? Do I go with the route of just chumping here? It's got to be this, right? It's got to be. It's all I can do. That's all I can do. We're going to eat just enough damage to go down to 1. Hopefully, again, haste creatures or that wins them the game. All right. All they got to do now is put a 1/1 counter on something, which they do. All right, that'll do it. GG's. They were just a little too fast and we just didn't have... There's no way. There's no way they just let me survive that. I was just about to give my speech that it was okay that we lost that, but we didn't lose it yet. Okay. Wow, I'm surprised they just did that. I don't know what to do. Should I attack into the Elspeth first? Because they probably don't want to trade the Kodama, right? Probably not. But they do. That's a bummer. A little bit of a net negative there. I was going to sweep the board anyways, but it's all good. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Man, still absolutely shocked right now that the opponent missed that lethal there. They did go through their turn very quickly, so it wasn't surprising they didn't see it. I've been in that same position where I just kind of fly through my turn and not count. But that's pretty brutal. Vindicator. 5/5 whenever it deals damage is dealt damage. Put that damage or something else. Got it. What a card, dude. What a card. Okay, so I'd like to steal the Vindicator for 5. 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, which leaves me 1, 2. So I can draw 3 cards with this. And then steal it still. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Missed the land drop, which is unfortunate because I wanted to play that. Oh no, they tapped a mana. Oh, I know, I did that wrong. I was trying to play the Blue Sun's Twilight. That is not good. In that case, I'm going to have to exile the Vindicator now. Ooh, that was a mistake. That was a big mistake. That was a big mistake. Yikes, man. Okay. Let's gain some life first. Yep, I did that all wrong, man. I completely screwed that up. Vindicator's gonna die though, which is fantastic. And oh man. Send these through. We're gonna try to kill Elspeth here. They're gonna make a block on one of these. This goes down to 2.
You can't just push me around like the others.
All right, not my best work. Not my best work at all. I answered their misplay with a misplay of my own. I didn't actually see how many blue sources I needed there. I forgot that the I didn't forget, I just didn't realize I was playing a Silver Scrutiny, which required 2 blue sources, which were my only 2 blue sources. So that's definitely on me. But I will be stealing Edgar next turn, which is good. Did they just proliferate my... I think they just proliferated my apparatus. I think they did. I'm not too sure, but they might have. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to steal this. There's no doubt about it. Gotta steal it. Then... You know, actually copying that makes sense because then I would get... Then I would get the artifact, right? Under its owner's control. Gain control. But they'd still be the owner. Yeah, they'd still be the owner. I'm trying to make sure I don't screw this up. If I steal Edgar here and I make a copy of it, just to get the artifact as well, when it dies would go back to the owner's control. So we can't have that because they are technically the owner, because if you read under here, it says owner timekeeper. That's timekeeper, so they would actually get that back. And then I have singularity, which, I mean, don't mind throwing this bad boy down. 1, 2, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's just submit 0. And then let's attack in for the mites and just try to close this thing out with poison counters. Seems fine to me. They're down to no cards in hand, so they're top decking here. If they don't find the answer, we win the game. Elspeth is pretty good. It's pretty good, I can't lie.
I'll be on the front. Show 'em
what are they doing? I don't understand what just happened there. I don't understand what just happened there. We should have lost that game early on with the lethal that they were presenting. Again, we were just a little bit too slow to get the lands that we got. That 3rd land drop, or the 4th land drop, killed us, not getting the apparatus down on time. Had we gotten it down on curve, we would have swept the board a turn earlier and we would have been totally fine. And then I made a little bit of an error there with the double blue on the Blue Sun and Silver Scrutiny. So I wish I could take that one back, but I was able to navigate myself out of it, which is good. But that was a tough little game. Ugly. Yikes, man. I wanted to reshoot this to get cleaner games, but that one was tough. And honestly, I was just surprised the opponent allowed us back into that game to begin with. But I don't know why they didn't just -3 there on the Elspeth and try to keep me off of getting the poison counters. Why the 2 land hands? Maybe I got to switch back to 25 lands, man. I don't know why. Every time I go to 24 lands, because I think I have a lot of card draw, it's like it never gives me 3 landers. It's so weird. Finally. Only took double mulligan. All right, well, we gotta hope this gets us there. Gotta hope this gets us there. Another Silver Scrutiny. I will take that. I will say that's probably one of the better top decks we could have got. Now, if we can just get a land and apparatus back to back, we can easily get back into this game. There's the land. Where's the apparatus? Early damage from the underdog presents quite a problem for us. All right, we could draw 2 off the Silver Scrutiny, which is great. And not to mention we have a bunch of backups. So I'm really happy we got all these Silver Scrutinies. This is one time that the Shuffler absolutely being wonky is helping us. Did they miss the 3rd land? They might have missed their 3rd land drop here. They did. Wow. They weren't willing to triple mole like I was. I was ready to lose it all on the mulligans. All right, pass the turn again. Would love to get the Agandra Uprising going at some point today with the Singularity, but I would need like a Galvanic Iteration to really maximize that card. So, of course, it's going to be the card we drop here. Taking 6. Not ideal. Down to 8 already. There's an Apparatus a little late to the party, but we'll take it nonetheless. Shoot. What do we do here? We missed the land drop again. Or not again, but... shoot, what do we do? We could just gain a bunch of life off this and potentially hit a land drop, which could be very helpful, but yeah, and then we could just syncopate like their Shieldred potential here. I don't mind that. It's fine. Another Apparatus. There it is. There's our syncopate. We knew we were going to get something good off of that. Liliana with the discard again, though, is a bummer. Not to mention it's getting closer to its ult, which you hate to see.
I'm tired of
Guess we don't need 2 Apparatuses. I would love to, but I don't think we can afford the luxury. All right, we passed the turn. We Apparatus for sure this time around because we have to get the Twilight going next turn. Twilight for 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm gonna need a land drop for it to work so I can sweep the board. All right, they're definitely gonna find their lands, no problem now. Man, I absolutely hate mana issues. That's the one thing about Magic that I will never really get over is like mana problems, man. That's absolute worst. Believe it or not, I think the March can go. Explosive Singularity is just so good at closing a game out if we need it. So I'm gonna drop the March here. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the March here. Apparatus down. And let's look to gain some life. Please give me a land, please. One time. Let's go. Let's go. So we had enough, right? 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. And that answers Liliana's minus really, really well. So we go back to 8, which is the important thing here, right? Going back to 8. Attacking in for 5 potentially next turn. There's the cut down. We love that people have been just investing these little 1 mana, 2 mana spells into our board, which is really great. If they don't get too aggressive with the okay, that's a bummer. As long as I have Apparatus, I'm honestly pretty happy. So I'm willing to sacrifice all the mites. It depends on what they do here. Let's see. Which pile do we want to sacrifice? They did that pretty good, I can't lie. They did that about as good as they could have. All right. Making things tricky. I really want the Mind Splice, but it makes no sense to keep the Mind Splice if we have no lands. All right. Fair enough. Well played. Well played to you. All right, we're at 5. Strong possibility here this next turn that we just die to the opponent's Invoke Despair, potentially. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to draw 4 and just hope they don't have the Invoke Despair. That's our best hope. It's our best hope, man. Got to get some cards in hand here, so. I could have gained life there off the Twilight, but it really made no difference. I'm sure we would have, yeah. I don't know. Maybe the Twilight was the play. Who knows?
Something suspicious is going on. And for once, I'm tired of your secrets.
Looks like it worked out for us, though. Thank goodness. And what do we got here? 8 lands total. So this is going to hit for 6. Just get myself back into this game here. Again, Singularity ready to go. Plus I have 6 damage on board if they don't answer these threats, which they do. I was going to say we had lethal, but now we don't. It's all good. It's all good. No apparatus is a bummer, but man, that was a really good sacrifice options for Liliana's ult there. They did a really good job there separating what. If they would have given me 2 lands with the apparatus, I would have taken that. All right. Clearly the opponent doesn't have a sweeper, right? So that's pretty big. It's pretty big for us because what I could do here is just attack into the opponent, guaranteeing 3 poison counters here, not to mention 3 damage, and then we sweep again and just gain a boatload more life. Seems fine to me, right? We're at what, 9? Wait, yeah, I played a land. Okay, we're at 9 lands, so this hits for 7. All right, sweep them up. Back to 17. Now we're winning the life gain total. This has been some crazy games, man. Absolutely crazy games. There's the Invoke Despair. We thought that was coming sooner than later. They go to 14. I'm 13. Yeah, we win the game with the Singularity if this gets through.
I'm done here.
Yep, we still win the Singularity.
Haven't you ever heard of personal?
Because I have 10 mana, so original cost of the spell is 10. So attacking with the mites, and we just throw a fireball at their face. There we go. GG's, man. Another really close one. A little bit of a nail biter. Mono black. I'm glad they just didn't have the Invoke Despair right when they needed it. Hey, that's one of the first times that's ever happened, so thank God. All right, we cut back on one Aganjo Uprising and added 1 more land here for the final game because I'm really tired of having mana issues. On top of that, Aganjo Uprising hasn't been as clutch as not as clutch as it has been. I've had plenty of games where it's been really clutch, where we had the Galvanic iteration, we double up on it, and you know, use it for the ability as well to get the fireball thrown at the opponent's face, but it just hasn't been there today. And look at that, the first time we ever got a 3-land hand on the start here. So Catgeist, that's a tricky card. It's able to draw them cards. I don't have a way to deal with it. Otherworldly Light's a fantastic way to deal with it, but we'll need another turn in order to do so, because if we kill this, it actually comes back as the Cat-like Curiosity to attach to a creature. We can't have that. We cannot have that. We also can't have this. That's a very good tempo card, so we know what the opponent's up to now. They're definitely looking to tempo us out here, protecting their Drake, protecting their Catgeist. I do believe that's the Catgeist is still the main threat here, because at least with the Drake they have to cast spells and get them out of their hand in order to draw cards. So let's target that. All right, they give it indestructible and hexproof. Surprise, surprise. All right, we're definitely gonna need our sweepers. Our White Suns, definitely need those very bad. Gonna flash in the apparatus here. I have the ability to potentially steal the Drake or the Catgeist, but they're just gonna protect it, so it's like, we really want to be wasting that card on that sort of a play? Probably not. Probably should try to look to do a big Silver Scrutiny so I can try to find those life gain tools and sweepers. Apparatus about to come down. Let's go. I doubt it's going to get countered. It's very possible that it does, but these types of decks don't typically run counter magic. They just run protection spells. Syncopate is interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and if we can find a third path too, that'll also help us gain a lot of life next turn. Okay, some spot damage here. That's good. Actually, we're going to drop the lands that come in tapped at this point. We got plenty of blue, plenty of white. Yeah, we're good. We are good to go. Could double apparatus next turn. Thing about double apparatus is we're taking another turn where we don't necessarily get to invest the mana from the apparatus into the second one, so we lose a bit of the ramp. We need something here. Ah, brother, that's not going to cut it. That's not gonna cut it. Let's try to use this for 1 here. They protect it, obviously. Hit it for 2. Two mana to use. 1, 2, 3. Stop the slip out the back potentially. We're doing it, man. We're trying our best here. We're trying our best here. All right, we syncopate that. That's good. It does do its little dance, which means they're probably gonna find a way to protect it. Maybe. A shore up, man. We couldn't have won this if we wanted to. There's no way we could have gotten around any of this. There's just too much going on. And then the opponent, unfortunately, we really were targeting the double striker because it potentially deals the most damage. But in this case, it yeah, it just shoot. I mean, we lose, right? So we might as well send it. We might as well send it. I don't know how we win this though. I don't think it's possible to win it. I guess I could steal this, but it would have summoning sickness, wouldn't it? It still does, kind of, right? Yeah, it still has summoning sickness. All right. And they still have another protection spell, it looks like. That's crazy. After all of that, they still have the ability to protect it. No? Okay. Doesn't matter. We lost the game anyways. We weren't able to... Ooh, does that work? No, it doesn't work. I was going to say if we play this again, it doesn't work, but I don't think it does. Alchemist Gambit ends up killing us. It's fine. We went out on our own sword there. They just had the nuts, man. I mean, they had a great, fantastic fast start and unable to... Even with all of the answers we potentially had for them, they just kept eating them all up with the protection spells. So, you know, good on them. This deck is just always so powerful. I don't know how anyone beats this deck. I always end up losing to this deck almost every time, which is really frustrating, but it's pretty good. That will conclude today's gameplay portion of the video. We are going to talk about the deck a little bit more. Before I do so, I want to give a huge shout out to every person who's made it this far into the video. I appreciate it very much. It helps a ton with the YouTube algorithm. So thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it a lot. Speaking of the YouTube algorithm, I want to just give a quick breakdown that the outros might change up a little bit. We're going to try to move through them a little bit quicker than usual. We're just going to kind of just do a brief discussion of the cards in the deck and kind of move on. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I've looked at the analytics recently, and the the drop off on viewership at this point is so beyond drastic that I believe it's only going to help my videos going forward if we shorten these up just a little bit at the end. So I do apologize for those who stick around for this at the end, but I appreciate you for doing so. We're just going to hopefully shorten these up just a little bit. But the idea is simple, guys. Mind Splice Apparatus, obviously, you got to see this card in action today. You know what it does. The oil counters are insane because the more the stacks, the more mana we get to use. And what's great about this card, excuse me, what's great about this card is, again, it doesn't tap itself and the mana's gone forever after one turn. You get to continuously use this mana over and over for other cards. And again, I've really focused heavily on X mana cards because the more mana you get, the more mana you can dump into a card. So X mana cards made a lot of sense, making it a lot more flexible playing this card. And of course, I wanted to try out the new Sun's Twilight cards, which turned out to be absolutely busted. White Sun's Twilight is so good in this deck because it acts as a sweeper for us. But not only that, it gains us so much life, which can really save us and get us back into a lot of these aggro matchup games where we go second, especially. So a very cool card. Blue Sun's Twilight, a 2 of, only because there's not always going to be targets for you to hit. So I've learned the hard way that you don't want to run 3 or 4 of these because you're not always going to have something good to steal. And typically when the opponent attacks through, they're going to be tapped out and you're not going to be able to get value right away as a blocker, being that this is a sorcery speed card. Silver Scrutiny was a no-brainer. Drawing X amount of cards can completely shift up a game, especially if you only need to pay 2 blue sources and you can get, what, 6-7 cards off of a 6-7 Mind Splice Apparatus. And then Otherworldly Light and Light Up the Night are two great spot removal cards. March doesn't hit Planeswalkers, which is a bit of a shame. We learned that the hard way. Light Up the Night, though, a little bit more of a flexible removal spell, but doesn't exile. So they both come in clutch in their own ways. Exiling cards can be very important, especially when cards have ability to play out of the graveyard. And then we went with 4 Syncopates, because if you run into a mirror matchup, the more counter spells you have, the better chance you have of winning. And then we also have a Ganjo Uprising. I like this card paired a lot with Galvanic Iteration to copy it, creating double the amount of Samurais to potentially just win the game on the attack. But also the Ganjo Uprising serves a purpose to make the Singularity a lot cheaper. We've done this sort of combination before where we attack with the Samurais. We're left with more than, we're left with at least half of them. Then we tap them down because they have Vigilance to use the Explosive Singularity. And then Alchemist Gambit, no brainer, taking an extra turn, not to mention 2 extra turns off of the iteration is just way too good. And then the Monumental Facade, I think it's what's called. Facade. It's gotta be Facade. This thing tapping down and giving oil counters to the apparatus made a ton of sense as well. So had to throw that in here as well. But that's the deck in a nutshell, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Again, thanks for sticking around to the end. I'm going to try to figure out what to do with the endings of the videos to make them a little bit shorter and cleaner. But for now, we'll do the best we can to just keep it as short and simple as possible. But I do appreciate you again. I know I said that a lot, but I really do mean it. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me today. We'll be back again on Monday for another video. In the meantime, guys, just want to give a huge shout out to the Marty Mob as well. If you guys don't know, we have a membership program down below. It's next to the subscribe button. It's a little join button. It's the membership program. So anyone part of the Marty Mob who's helping support this channel, big shout out to you guys for being part of that. I appreciate it very much, and it helps a ton with the growth of the channel. So thank you for everything. I appreciate your support so very much. And with that being said, guys, enjoy your weekend. We'll be back again here on Monday. Until next time, peace out.
Hit him 3 times like a hat trick. The name is Fizzy, no Patrick. If you play him, then it's tragic. Hit him with the mythic, yeah, that's magic. MTG, that's what you'll see if you like and subscribe. With the upload, man, all of the time. Coming with the best decks, this is the meta. This ain't cheap.